Let's get right to breaking news. Tonight, the Raiders announced they're releasing Henry Ruggs III from the team after a crash which took the life of a 23-year-old woman. We're still waiting to hear her name. Sports Director Brian Salmon here in studio with the latest developments.
Yes, Marie, it's been a whirlwind of a day for the Raiders organization surrounding the fatal car crash involving 22-year-old Henry Ruggs III and his 22-year-old passenger, Kiera Janae Kilgo Washington. And after doing their due diligence, the Raiders have released Henry Ruggs III, so he is no longer a part of the Raiders organization. In somewhat of a surprise, considering the team's release earlier this afternoon, in which the Raiders confirmed knowledge of the incident, began with the process of fact-finding, and stated that they would not have further comment at that time. Clearly, whatever facts they found was enough for them to release Ruggs from the team. Now, a tragic situation off the field when things were going so well for Ruggs on the field. Henry Ruggs, who's a second-year player and the first ever draft pick by the Las Vegas Raiders, ranked second in the NFL in yards per catch, averaging 19.5 yards per catch. Ruggs had 2 touchdowns through 7 games after having just 2 total touchdowns in all of his rookie campaign. But that's all moot now and meaningless because the NFL also, they sent out their condolences, releasing a statement saying, quote, "Our hearts go out to the family and friends of the victim of this horrific tragedy. We will continue to gather facts and monitor the matter under our policies, but our thoughts at this time are with those impacted by this devastating incident."
Devastating, no doubt. So, Brian, what does this mean for team morale after losing, of course, Coach Gruden just a few weeks ago?
Well, that's a very good question. Of course, we will hear from their interim head coach, Rich Bisaccia, and quarterback Derek Carr tomorrow. I'd imagine the players' thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of the person who lost their life, as well as their now former teammate Ruggs, who has much bigger priorities. As far as football is concerned on the field, the team should be fine. They're in sole possession of first place, a position nobody thought that they would be in. They're 2-0 since Gruden's resignation, but right now, I'm sure everyone around that organization, thoughts and prayers are going out to the horrific tragedy that happened today.
Brian, thank you. Let's continue now our team coverage. Our Lauren Clark with fans reacting to the news. But first, she shares the latest from police and witnesses who describe what they saw near Rainbow and Spring Valley Parkway.
We now know the victim is a 23-year-old woman. Her identity expected to be released by the coroner's office once her family is notified.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
It was an unfortunate situation that happened. Somebody lost their life.
And tragic. That's how Raider fans describe a fatal crash involving wide receiver and budding star Henry Ruggs III. The crash happened around 3:30 this morning off Rainbow and Spring Valley Parkway. Police say surveillance video shows Ruggs driving a Corvette at high speed, veering into a lane and hitting a Toyota from behind. This video, filmed by a witness, shows the Toyota burst into flames, trapping the driver inside.
I heard like loud noise, like car, like bomb, bomb coming this way. When it came car, suddenly they get in. I heard loud noise, like a boom. When I came down here, it was like big mess on the street, like parts all over the place, everything. So I go back to my backyard. I hear like helicopter coming, police, everything loud noise. Like I don't know. And I see one guy. I don't know what car he's coming from, but he's trying to help somebody.
Despite attempts to save her, she was pronounced dead by first responders. Police say Ruggs stayed on scene and showed signs of impairment. The 22-year-old is facing 2 felonies, DUI resulting in a death and reckless driving.
You don't drink and drive. That's just being stupid.
That's why you don't drink and drive. You got to be responsible.
I was like, man, out drinking, 3:40 in the morning. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Fans upset over the news.
I remember getting off at 3 o'clock in the morning as a bartender, so I think my heart goes out to the family of the lost person. And
sending their condolences.
Raider Nation's hearts goes out to her family. I mean, I'm sure you don't want that to happen.
And recognizing 2 families will never be the same.
It seemed like it was a bad decision that he made, and it seemed like it's going to cost him.
And Ruggs will be in front of a judge tomorrow morning. His attorney sent us a statement which says in part they're asking people not to jump into any conclusions until all the facts of this case are known. Mothers Against Drunk Driving also sent out a statement saying they're absolutely devastated by the loss of life and will support the victim's family through this tough time.
Welcome back. For more than a year, a family plagued with one haunting question. What happened to their daughter and sister, Kamaya Bird? In summer of 2020, Kamaya was shot and killed driving on I-15, and today nobody knows who did it and nobody knows why. In this special report, Lauren Clark explains why this case is so hard to crack.
Anthony Locascio calls Cammy Bird a special soul.
She was fearless.
Fearless, kind, and so funny, he says, that she'd break out in song and dance in the grocery store.
A song would come on, and next thing I know, she's dancing with, an asparagus or something.
Like Anthony, the 37-year-old was a car dealer. She found her way to Las Vegas after growing up in the Pacific Northwest. The moment he met Cammy Bird,
It was instant, just an instant connection.
he knew they'd be best friends for life.
Cammy was just one of those people, one of those forever people.
But their forever friendship came to a tragic end.
It's scary.
Around midnight on September 16, 2020, Bird died doing something nearly all of us do every day, driving home from work on the I-15. It wasn't a crash or medical episode that killed her. It was a bullet to the head.
Here we are a year later, and we don't have answers.
Metro Homicide Lieutenant Ray Spencer says it's a haunting crime.
We have, done every investigative step possible trying to bring justice to her family and do anything that we can, and we're just still back at square one on this case.
Detectives pulled dozens of surveillance videos of that night.
She had gotten an early out from work. She had left work, got on the freeway, and was driving southbound on I-15.
Piecing together her every moment.
She got on the off-ramp to get off at Flamingo.
Except for this one.
When someone fired from a vehicle that we believe was also traveling southbound on I-15.
You see Cammy's car stop, but not the gunfire.
It's a very difficult and challenging case.
You see part of the problem. It's hard to make out cars at night going more than 80 miles per hour.
If this occurred at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm confident the suspect would have been caught the next day.
The second issue, says Lieutenant Spencer, the timing.
Is there a delay in her reaction from the time she's shot until she brakes? And that 1 to 2 second difference could mean, several different vehicles that could potentially be involved.
Investigators went out with stopwatches and speed estimates, but still can't say for certain which car the bullet came from. They've even pulled video from NHP patrol car nearby and a city bus.
If the bus was traveling 10 seconds slower, we would have the suspect vehicle.
He says they've ruled out the possibility of someone following her.
There's no potential suspect that we can identify. We don't believe there's any link between her and the suspect that makes this case very difficult.
That's why this detective
We just need help.
is pleading for leads.
Someone's got to help us on this case.
As for Anthony,
It's been over a year now, and it's that realization that's going to sink in that there's a possibility that they'll never find that guy.
he begs that person out there who knows something to come forward.
To give us justice so that this poor girl could rest in peace.
Hi everybody, I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates. Thanks for watching.